stringing this flower tea that has been charged in the full moon. Sorry it's not done already, but it is just going to take 1 minute, and that way you guys can sip on some tea. I'm going to leave the little ingredients here. It's all florals, chamomile, butterfly pea, rose. There is some lemon in there, calendula, honeysuckle, jasmine, lemon balm, and jujube dates. And it's sweetened with a lavender chamomile raw cane syrup. There's more syrup as well in case it's not sweet enough for any of you. It's lightly sweetened, but like I said, if anybody wants it more sweet, feel free to help yourself. Welcome everybody. happy to see everyone getting their tea, getting settled in, and thank you so much for your patience today. Such a powerful full moon. So much good energy. So if you guys have been to Moon Mystics before, you're probably familiar that we do a release ceremony, or if you're new, I'll let you know. We always start class with a release ceremony where I give you guys a sheet of paper and you'll write down one thing that you want to release this full moon. I always say try to be a little vague with this. We don't want to put too much negative energy in the direction of the things we don't want. We want to save that for the things we actually desire that bring us joy. So I'm going to come around and give you guys a little piece of paper. We will be doing, hello, hi, here you go. And let me know if anybody needs a pen. I will happily get one for you. Hi, good to see you. Hello, nice to see you. There might be a couple in there, but you'll need one at the end of class too. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Good, good. Oop, there you go, absolutely. Hi, good to see you. One for you. Absolutely, hello. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna move the cauldron up a little bit. Oh, does anybody need a little log pillow?
I'll take one.
You,
Thanks.
pillows? Yes, absolutely. Let me grab that for you. Does anybody else need a pen? Perfect. Pillows? Yes, absolutely. And let me grab pens. And there you go. Are there extra pens over here?
Yeah, let's remember, because pens fly out of here. Can we ask everyone to return?
Yeah, absolutely. Pen. You needed a pen, right? Okay. No problem. You're good on pen? Okay, cool. Anybody else need a pen?
I think one person just came in, and then we might get one more, and that's everyone.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. So it looks like we do still have some space. If you need me to move the craft supplies.
Well, these are all the mats.
Okay, gotcha. Anyone else would like the last log pillow? I'm gonna leave it here. Whoever wants it can go ahead and grab it. Okay. Let me light this as well. Okay. So feel free to burn your release paper whenever you're ready to do so. And it will all eventually burn up, but if anybody wants to use those tongs safely, you can be a little more present with it. Hi, good to see you. Okay, I think change up the music.
No, it didn't. Okay.
As you watch everything burn, try to visualize everything being released. No more need to dwell on it. Open the door. Gotcha. It's okay. Has everybody gotten a chance to? Oh, perfect. Take your time, take your time. I'll cover it up after this and I'll put it back on at the end. Oop, I'm sorry. Anybody else need a piece of paper? You got one? Hi, good to see you. Here you go. No problem. Okay. We've got a lot of good energy right now with this full moon. If anybody has felt like they've been on a roller coaster, especially since 8/8, totally normal. We've got a lot of changes and shifts happening. Perfect. Has everyone gotten a chance to burn what they want to release this full moon? Yes? Okay. I'm just going to cover this guy up slightly so it doesn't get too smoky in here for us. All right, welcome guys. Thank you again for your patience. Okay, full moon time. Time to gather, figure out, take inventory, see what can stay, what needs to go. We've got a lot of supportive energy right now, even though it can feel really intense. So we're at the tail end of Leo season. We're still in that fire energy, and the moon is in Aquarius, which is our air sign energy. And we're moving into more of that Aquarian energy collectively. So we're really feeling that big shift. Both of these signs are all about embracing your creativity and truly wanting to stand out and doing this from a very authentic place, right? So we're being asked right now to take inventory. Where are we suffocating? Where are we feeling limited? Where are we being held down? Where is our bottlenecks? There's always, not always, but there's typically something, whether it's a career, certain relationships, maybe a dynamic within yourself, like a habit, you know, something that you feel is tying you down to an old paradigm, right? So we're here to really reflect on that to see, okay, am I doing this because I genuinely want to do this from the bottom of my soul? Or is this what I think I should do? Is this someone else trying to speak through me and tell me how I should lead my life, right? So much of what we do in our lifetime is operating from our subconscious mind, which most of what's in our subconscious mind didn't come from us, right? Because that's really formed. I mean, we can reprogram it. There's lots of things we can do, you know, like meditation, hypnosis, things like that, you know, affirmations, and really just focusing your energy. Sorry about that. Here, I can move these guys. These are our crafts for the end of class. So you want to really reflect on these things, because our subconscious mind is formed from when we are 0 to 7 years old. So that's going to be what we're exposed to from our parents, you know, our families, our schools, right? You know, a lot of it isn't within our control, but just because something happened to us that wasn't our fault, right? It's our responsibility to take inventory of that and make these choices once we get that awareness that, hey, maybe something isn't working out for me, right? So you really want to ask yourself these questions. We have a square, two T-squares going on, which are, I don't like to use the word challenging, right? Because that can be like, oh, doom and gloom challenging. Squares can be challenging, right? And it's all going to depend on how much resistance you have in your life and how much you've kind of been holding yourself back. And how intense that feeling is really just going to come down to where you're at in your journey. It's so important right now, more than ever, to not shame yourself from where you are, right? We have so many different levels of healing that someone needs to go through, right? It's not all in the mental field. We have to mentally heal, we heal our body, we heal our spirit, we heal our soul. But in order for us to be able to do these things, we have to have compassion for the parts of us that we deem less desirable. Because
as soon as you are just resisting this quality that you have, oh, I hate that I'm lazy. I hate that I just wake up and scroll on my phone. I hate that I just can't, go to the gym when I'm tired after work, or I hate, this. We put all these rules on ourselves, right? Because we're, again, operating from this place of what we think we should be doing. When really the most important thing you can do is give yourself that peace, give yourself that space. Stop telling yourself you have to do this. I know this can kind of go against a lot of what people say. They're like, no, just, grind your teeth and just, do it, right? But for what, right? If you grind through something, through suffering, you're not going to get to, it's not something that you have to suffer for isn't necessarily going to bring you happiness at the end. And at the end of the day, you don't even want the thing that you want at that final step that you're looking for as much as you think you really do, because as soon as we get something, we're going to want something else. That's just our natural state. It's constant expansion. We have to learn to appreciate the journey, right? It's not about what I need to do, but it's about how can I enjoy my life in everything that I do. It's not about taking crazy, vacations, even though obviously those are beautiful, or doing extravagant things, which is of course nice, right? But it's about how can we make the mundane beautiful? How can we romanticize our life? How can we wake up and just truly embody our shower and our ritual and just give ourselves that space? How can we take inventory of our thoughts and care more about what we focus our attention to internally than the food that we're eating, than what we're doing physically? Because what you feed yourself internally will always, I know I say this a lot because it is so important, but we tend to just let thoughts happen and we don't really think about it. We're just kind of lazy. We're just not used to it. And I don't really like using that word, but we haven't been taught, right? We've been taught all of the action that we have to do, but we've never been taught how to emotionally regulate, how to be still, how to tap into our truth. We have constant help from the universe, from source, from God, whatever word resonates from you. There is a power that we can tap into that is so much deeper and stronger than anything your body alone can do. That if we learn to just plug in a little bit more and start to trust that intuition, start to trust that guidance, little by little, develop that muscle that has been weakened from not being used, right? I mean, think about humans nowadays, how our feet used to be. People used to be able to climb, walk on, now if someone climbs a tree with their bare feet or walks on a little beam, it's considered oh my God, wow, what an incredible human. But that used to be normal, right? Because we used to constantly work out that muscle. But then, modern life and shoes and all these things and, sitting at a desk and all that. And, so our feet have been constricted and they can't really do the things for most people, myself included, that, your hands can do, right? And it's the same thing with our intuition. It's we have been so disconnected from our intuition collectively, and obviously everybody's different, and for each person it's gonna vary, right? We're gonna go through our waves. We're humans here. We're not seeking perfection in this human form. We're seeking constant expansion, constant growth. We wanna get out of the mind. The mind is a very beautiful tool in your toolbox that you have here in life. You've got a toolbox, and your mind is like a hammer, right? But you can't use the hammer to do everything. Sometimes you need a screwdriver or something else, right? But we have been so conditioned to use the mind for everything. When the mind is beautiful, it's logical, it can problem solve, it can figure out the steps you need to take, right? But what happens is we do that to a fault where we start to think the mind is our leader. And the mind and our ego want to keep you in the familiar. So if you've been feeling stuck, or you've been feeling like you're stagnating, you want to look at how much are you in the mind, because it's always going to come back to that. You can never be stagnating in life. You will never be bored if you are operating from your higher self, if you have that connection directly to source, if you're giving yourself that space to develop that muscle and to, deepen that relationship with yourself, right? Because everything we explore, even getting to know other people, it's really just exploring ourselves deeper. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to we're so curious. We're so curious about everything around us. We need to start becoming curious about what's going on in our mind. And when we pick the thoughts that we focus on, you pick them like you're at the store. Like if you're picking things and putting it in your cart, you're only putting things in there that you like. You're not gonna go and be like, I hate this bag of chips, into the cart it goes, I'm gonna buy it, right? But like, that's what we do with our thoughts. We have thoughts that like make us feel like crap, and we just choose to think them over and over again because we've identified with them. We've created this identity, this belief that this is us, right? And we end up limiting ourselves because our identities were never meant to be a solid structure. Our identities were never meant to stay rigid and the same. If you want to picture your identity as an outline around yourself, make it an outline of greenery or fog or bushes, something that can move around, not a hard wall of this is what I am. Because you are many things. You are so many things, and you can never put yourself in a box. So why do we keep putting ourselves in the box of things that we say we are? Oh, but that's just how I am. Is it just how you are? Or is it what you're conditioned to, and it's just the easiest thing for your brain to do without thinking about it? You know, you want to notice your triggers. When you just react to something, give yourself a moment. Don't shame yourself. Be like, huh, that was interesting. I wonder where that, I wonder why I did that. It's like, oh, well, I've always done that, so that makes sense. Okay, well, if I think about this, like, does this feel like it was still the right thing to do? And you tap in and you start to get curious about yourself. But you have to do this in a more detached way, right? Because as soon as we start being like, I gotta take inventory, and we start like really just like shaming ourselves and putting things in boxes, oh, I hate all these things about myself, that is gonna keep the energy there. It's gonna keep it there. You have to give it love. Like, I feel like the best ways to look at anything in you that you deem less than, try to look at it as if you're talking to the child version of you. It's not bad, it's not wrong. That's what it needed to know when it needed to know it, right? You know, if you grew up in severe trauma and, you had no control, you were getting maybe, like if people grow up and there's a lot of things that can happen in this world, right? That it's out of our control, especially when we're younger. And if you learn to develop this, mask and to hide and to really just like make yourself small so that nobody notices you so that you don't get hurt, that was all you knew at that time. And quite frankly, you needed to do that to protect yourself. But what happens is once we're out of that situation, we tend to hold on to that old thing that we needed at one point. But what you needed at one point is like trying to fit into clothes from when you were a baby. Like it just is gonna be uncomfortable and it's not gonna work right? Like we need to grow these things with us instead of just doing things because this is the status quo. This is what I was told. This energy right now, both Leo and Aquarius, I love these energies together. So you got the fire and the air, but it's also fixed energy. So it's very supported. A lot of the things that we do right now can be taken with us long term. And it's not about keeping the same habit. It's just about, keeping that commitment to yourself to follow your joy. Keeping the commitment to follow your joy is so much less daunting than saying, I have to stick to this for the rest of my life. But if you're committed to following your joy, you will always be assessing, does this still bring me joy? And when you decide to move to something else, you won't have that shame. You won't have that guilt. You never know why you're drawn to do something. Holding yourself back is stopping you from sharing your gift from somebody who really needs it. Sharing your art, sharing your voice, right? We start to be so afraid of how we're being perceived. So that is being challenged right now. Our egos are being challenged, and that can be uncomfortable. So it's really going to come down to how willing are we to challenge our own ego? How willing are we to take inventory and to say, hey, maybe I can make my identity whatever I actually want rather than what it's been, rather than what I think other people need me to be. We're really taking back our power. We're learning how to question everything. Question authority, question yourself. Don't trust everything in the news, like using our discernment, using our intuition. We're really learning to develop that love and that relationship with ourselves where we feel so secure in the body that we don't need to look outside. We just look outside when we want to connect, when we want to mingle. It's not out of this desperation, out of this like reach of I need to find answers, right? People are here and they're always going to reflect something to you that you need. If you ask the universe, I would love clarity on this, and you release that, I promise you that you will hear the right podcast, you will run into the right people, you will come into the right situation in your life that teaches that to you. We don't have to effort as much as we think we do. We have to learn to ask more. I think a lot of times we want something, but we never really ask. Because maybe a part of us feels like we're not gonna get it, or that's silly, right? But asking is the magic, it's the intention. You're putting that out to the universe and you're becoming a conscious creator. You are deliberately creating what is happening for you in your life, not to the T the way your mind wants to do it, but you're attracting the feelings and the situations that your soul is desiring on a deep level. But it is much stronger when we connect to that part of us more often. And we do this in so many different ways. Of course, gathering like this, talking about it, hearing more people who talk about it, adjusting what you watch, adjusting, what you're consuming, right? And how you're putting yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Question how you're putting yourself out there too. Most people use social media nowadays. Are we posting things just to get that like? Or are we really just sharing our authentic self? Sharing our trueness, our rawness? Because when we're not able to do so, that comes from a block that we have within us towards our own identity, the shame and the guilt that we hold on to. And the more we liberate that part of us, the more light and the more free we feel, the easier we walk around the world. You start to glide. Yes, there'll be challenges, but it won't be such doom and gloom, and the level of suffering will elevate, right? Because if you're experiencing the same problem on loop over and over again, that is a clear signal that there's a belief or a habit that is stemming from a belief, that is stemming from a thought pattern that hasn't been addressed, right? And sometimes we know what these are, right? Sometimes you're like, I know what it is. I know that this is the thing that I do, and what can I do about it? And it sounds so crazy, but you have to find ways to be okay with that part of yourself. When you notice that triggering part of you coming up, just allow it. See, because chances are you've never allowed it. As soon as we get anxiety, we're like, I don't want to feel this way, right? You try to avoid it. But how often do we just let ourselves be a human being and a vessel for these emotions to wash through rather than trapping them in our body? Can we just take a moment and be like, it's okay, I experience anger sometime. I get to experience that as a human being. I get to have this experience. It is trying to teach me something. I'm gonna allow myself to be angry. I'm gonna allow myself. Maybe I'll go into a little safe space for myself. Maybe it's even just in my car if you're out somewhere, wherever it is, in the bathroom. Just take a moment and let yourself feel that uncomfortability. Don't block it away. Because the reason it's still around is because you never let it show you what it wants to show you. Because you've been so afraid that you just keep it like this cloud over your head rather than just facing it and being like, I see you, right? Let it run its course. Let it go through you. There are tools, of course, that can help us. I'm a huge believer in somatic release, which is essentially just movement, right? Flowing that chi through your body. Every culture believes, in some sort of energy. So let that move through you. And sometimes the body needs to process things that are beyond our logical mind. When something hurt you when you were a kid, you might look back at it from your adult eyes and be like, oh, well, that wasn't really a big deal. And you write it off, right? But the kid in you didn't see it that way. And that part of you might still have an emotion that it's holding on to. So sometimes we need to just let these emotions flow through us rather than trying to hyperanalyze everything. Just be like, oh, I'm having these emotions. Shake it out, dance it out, move it out. It's amazing what the body can do when you just let it move through you. Laugh, cry. Of course, things like meditation, breath work, movement, yoga, flow, any movement, really. We're going to do a little bit here today, very light, very gentle stretching before our meditation. and anything to engage your senses. How can you have more play in your life? Where are you being too rigid? Right? So we're really being asked to challenge the old versions of ourselves, to be curious about ourselves. This is an extremely liberating energy. This is all about personal sovereignty, freedom, taking your power back, and knowing that you can change your mindset about things. It's possible to attract change. I'm going to tell you like a small little story. This is kind of silly. So when I was growing up, I used to be the one in the house that was not scared of bugs. Like I was like the man of the house. We're gonna do the gender norms here. But I was like the one that was going to go and like kill the bug, in the household. And they would always call me when I was like 6 years old. And somehow, as I got older, I realized a few years ago that I'm terrified of bugs now. Like I am so scared of them. I don't know why, but I just got so scared of them where I would see a spider and I'd freak out. I'd literally yell and just, want it out of there, try to and I started asking myself like, that's so funny. Like, I wonder where that came from. And it happens. You start to hear people, oh, it's not normal not to be scared of bugs. And then you get it in your head and, somewhere along the line, doesn't really matter. But I noticed I was, and I told myself like, this is really annoying. Like it takes too much time and I live in the country. So there's bugs. Like if I see, I can't have an hour taken out of my day because I see a spider, right? And this is so silly, right? It's just a little thing, but this is the case with everything. So I just asked the universe and I had this very specific intention that I really just don't want to be scared of bugs anymore. And I didn't try. I didn't start looking up classes or or any techniques or anything. I just, I put it out in the universe. I asked and, I ended up finding certain pages of people who kept pet spiders. And I was like, oh, interesting. Actually, this is kind of helpful to watch. And, I got exposed to it a little bit. And little by little, I would see a spider and I would be like, you know what? I tried to find it cute. I'm like, can I just see you as just this living being who is just as scared of me as I might be of it, and and see it differently. And for a while I would just kind of cover it with a cup and slide a piece of paper under it and take it outside, until just a few days ago I was sitting on the couch and I see something crawl and it's a spider where normally I would have freaked out, and I just found myself immediately just grabbing my book, letting him being like, come on little buddy, get on here. And he was about to crawl on my finger, didn't care, took it outside, and I didn't think much of it. And then when I came back down, this all took a minute, literally just 1 minute. It didn't disrupt me at all. But I had this realization wow, I asked for this. I asked for this, and I didn't work for it. I didn't effort for it. I just asked for it. And I released it. I didn't obsess over it because it's a small thing, right? It's easier to do with something like that because it's not connected to my, core identity, But the truth is it's with everything. We can do that with anything in our life. Anything that you are just having trouble releasing, just ask, I would like to release it, and I'd like to be able to show myself more love in that area. And instead of shaming yourself, just whoosh, you stated it, you released it, you go on with your life. What do you ask yourself? What can I do for myself right now? You are the most important person in your world. What do you need to feed your soul? Maybe you want to take a little walk before you take a shower. Maybe you want to call up that friend you've been thinking about. We have to trust these little things. And if we're feeling clouded and that we don't know what to do, then that's a sign that we need to take a breath. Go back to the basics. It's not about we overcomplicate it. We want a magic pill, we want a magic wand, we want someone to tell us exactly what to do and when to do it, but really all we need is to take a breath most of the time. Most of us don't even breathe right. Really filling our belly with air. We're so used to taking that shallow breathing. And speaking of breath, if you ever want to know, do I need to use my mind for everything? You can ask yourself, Do you use your mind to figure out how your heart beats, how your liver works? Does it need to constantly know about all that? It would be insane, right? But it's just a reminder that the mind is being used for things that it's not supposed to be used for, and that keeps us stuck. Tap more into the body, tap more into the breath. When you don't know, go back to stillness. When you're unsure, go back to stillness. Right? That's always what we're essentially striving for. It's not the job, it's not the relationship, it's not the thing, it's not that shiny little trophy. It's that peace. That peace that's always with you. It's not out there. The more you find that within you, and the more stillness you give yourself, I promise you, you will radiate so brightly. People will flock to you and they'll be like, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you're doing? Can you tell me? You look different. You're shining, you're bright. We need to step into that brightness. Step into that spotlight, your spotlight. And it's not from the ego, right? This is from a place of love, of confidence, of just confidence, not because you know everything, but you know that you will know. You will know everything, and you will have everything you need in every moment of your life. We just have to follow the first little breadcrumb, which will always be there if we still our mind. If we tap into that, it will give you a breadcrumb. It might not give you the whole picture, but that is not your mind's job to do. Your mind's job is to be like, yep, I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to make that happen. But you have to trust these little nudges. You have to trust these breadcrumbs, and you'll get another one. You'll get another one. You'll get another one. It's how you communicate with the universe, how you communicate with God, right? It's a back and forth communication. You ask, you receive, you act from an aligned place. Aligned action is not work. You might work so much. People might be like, wow, you do so much. Like, well, I'm not working. I love this, right? When you're in that flow, how can we tap more into that? And if you can't tap into it in every area of your life, where can you tap into it? Your morning routine. You have to have maybe 5 minutes to yourself every day, right? It's not about how much we can do overall. It's just, what can I do in this moment? In every moment. So I feel this energy has been collectively felt. It's a super moon, and it's a blue moon, so it's very intense. And we got a couple squares, like I said. We have a square with Uranus, and then we have a mutable square with Venus and Jupiter. Let me make sure I'm giving you the right information there. Yes, Venus in Virgo opposing Saturn in Pisces and squaring off Jupiter and Mars in Gemini. So we have a lot of action, a lot of movement, a lot of communication, right? And the ruler of the Gemini energy and the Virgo energy is in retrograde right now, which is really, Mercury's in retrograde at this time, even though it's in Leo. It's still going to affect that. It's going to just emphasize even more so that need to reflect and review and to cultivate that peace. So I think that is the main thing I wanted to tell you guys about the full moon. Trust those little nudges. You'll get the signs. Trust them. They'll never feel, the nudges you get from source don't make your chest tighten up. Don't make you feel sunken down and dark, right? That's normally fear. That's normally coming that's not what we want to obey, right? But when you know you're getting divine guidance, it will fill you with such confidence, even when it's telling you to do something that is difficult, or like to face something that is difficult. When you get that insight, when you know it's time, it will fill you with such lightness and such love. And it will be like a whisper that you hear. But when our mind is so busy sending out thoughts and not taking a moment, we miss those opportunities because the mind is too loud. So we're going to cultivate that stillness today. If anybody has any questions about about the energy, or if anyone wants to share anything, please feel free. Is the temperature okay for everybody in here? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay. All right, well, before we get into our little Zen sandwich, we start off with the talking, we end with an activity, and the little meat in the sandwich is just the, our stretching, yin yoga, some meditation, sound healing. But before we do so, I did want to share 3 cards, oracle cards. I bring this deck almost every time. And I wanted to talk about 3 crystals that I selected for this full moon. Okay, we have rutilated quartz. This is an amplifier of energy. It helps you release any blockages that you might have. It's just beautiful to look at. It amplifies any existing energy that you have going on. So whoop, if you have an intention, didn't know that pen was in there, it will definitely help you on your journey. But I like to see crystals as, they hold their own energy, but the reason I feel they work for me, it's just because I'm consciously selecting it because I connect to it for a specific purpose, and it's almost like an extra little step for my intention setting. So I always like to say when I talk about crystals or anything like that, you don't need any of this. You don't need any of these bowls or crystals or candles or incense or whatever. They can be nice if that's like what you resonate with, but they are absolutely not what you need. So the rutilated quartz is known as the soul illuminator. So if you're really trying to get in touch with what your truth is, what are your true desires, that is one that I like to use there. Orange calcite is all about creativity, vitality. It's very optimistic, extremely optimistic. It screams Leo energy. It's not technically an Aquarius stone, but since it is so heavy on the creativity and tapping into that sacral chakra, I feel it for Aquarius as well. And then we have amethyst, which is the all healer. This helps with, getting rid of addictions, limiting beliefs. It's also, it is a type of quartz, so these are all going to be amplifying, except for, actually this is amplifying even though it's a calcite, but they're all amplifying energies. So it's very loud energy, except the amethyst is a lot more kind of calm and sweet. So those are going to be the 3 cards that I'm going to use for this deck, the spirit animal deck. And what I normally ask is, I'm going to pull these cards with the intention that it's going to be the message that you need to hear at this time. So I'll give you guys a moment to kind of pick which one you think is going to be for you, and then I'll flip them over. I'll read out of the book. We'll chat about them a little bit, and yeah, it's a fun little thing to do. All right. So it's my most powerful intention to pull the cards in most alignment with everyone's true self. What is our soul wanting us to know at this time? Soul message, collective message. All right, card number 1, rutilated quartz. Card number 2, orange calcite. Card number 3, amethyst. Give you guys a second. See what you connect to. Move these out of the way for our yoga. All right. Okay, card number 1. What do we got? Ooh, scorpion. Death and rebirth, a lot of transformation. It's not a water energy right now, but the amount of those upgrades that we feel is pretty scorpionic. And I'll make sure to turn down the AC, guys, before we get into meditation, because you can get cold when we're in a meditative state, and I don't want you guys to get too chilly. What's that? Rutilated, yep. Is that the one you picked? Not to put you on the spot. Oh, I love it. Maybe they're both for you, because they're all for, if you're here, you're listening to the message, then it is for you for a reason. Nothing is on accident. We tend to write off all these interactions and things like, oh, I overheard this, it was an accident. Oh, no. This life, nothing is an accident. It is all so purposeful. And I don't know why I cannot find my Scorpio. Oh, there it is. All right, so Scorpion, passionate, competitive, tends towards isolation. The Scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the Scorpion's heat festers and they focus on unresolved events from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burned. The Scorpion card says it is time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usually fiery but fun self. So when this energy is in balance, you'll feel wild and free and fierce. When it's out of balance, you might feel jealous, resentful, and unresolved. And to bring into balance, honesty and forgiveness to self first. Never focus on forgiveness of others. It's way too hard. Forgive yourself first. Everything is a reflection. All right, I think that's extremely appropriate. It's basically everything we were talking about. Things that we're holding on to, what are these old stories, right? Because we're so attached to these stories. We start to almost put them on a shelf like a struggle trophy. We're like, look at all these struggle trophies, everything I've endured, you know? And if it's looked at from like a beautiful perspective of, wow, how strong I am, how much I've overcome, that's one thing. But if we're just reciting these because, hey, it's a fun story to tell, but it's also instilling this belief within yourself, whether it's about a belief about other people, I can't trust other people, or if it's something within yourself, then all you're doing is you're just recreating that in your present reality. So we want to really take inventory. What stories am I telling? Even if I tell them lightheartedly, is it the best story for me, right? So let's reframe. Number 2, we got hawk. Oh, that's so funny. That is what I drew earlier. Hawk, hawk, hawk. Hawk is present. Air energy, of course. We've got the air. Hawk. What's hawk? Yes, right. Hawk is orange calcite. And hawk is watchful, all-seeing, messenger of divinity. The sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. When this card appears, fate has its eyes on you, and the winds are shifting. It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings, and it's sent from divinity itself to deliver it. Oh my God, I'm getting shivers. The message should not be taken lightly. Though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually redirect your course. When in balance, sees clearly, intuitive. When out of balance, sees too much, suspicious. There's a difference, right? When you start looking into everything, oh, I think this person, and you just look into every little thing. That comes from anxiety. That comes from this need to protect yourself, to know everything so that you feel safe, right? So we want to know, what are we doing where we're just trying to look into everything as a form of this protection because we're feeling fearful, we're feeling like we need to have our guards up, and what is truly our intuition? What is truly being sent from the divine, right? And it's going to fill you with a different energy. Even if the energy is to stay away from something, it won't be this fearful, hateful energy. Because sometimes we do intuitively need to know things that, like I said, could be difficult or could be about like going in another direction. But the thing is tune into the body. Your body has its own intelligence. Your heart forms before your mind in the womb. Your heart is connected directly to source. Your mind forms afterward. Your brain doesn't form until after. The first thing you see on an ultrasound is a heartbeat, not the brain formation. That's after the fact. Your heart is your connection to source. It's the direct connection. So you will feel it. You will feel this lightness. You will feel this ease. You'll feel like confident, like this is a decision. I got this, right? And if you haven't felt that I got this yet, that means you haven't come to enough clarity. So you need to sit in more stillness, not take action, because we need to come from this aligned place, not this fearful place of I need to take action because find that stillness first. Trust that you will know the right time when to do the things that you need to do. To bring into balance, perspective shift. Change your perspective. Like I changed my perspective on the spiders. Now they're cute little guys that just help me get rid of the mosquitoes. Maybe next we'll like mosquitoes, but I don't know, I haven't gotten there yet. But, they're beings too. I have a hard time with that, because it's like, but yeah, it's a process. Hawk, love these cards. Ooh, Panther, intense energy, I love it. We got fire and air, appropriate. And then Scorpion, which technically we don't really have a lot of water energy here, but like we said, it's all about what it represents, right? It's that transformative, dark stuff, right? That Pluto stuff, and we didn't talk about Pluto today. We talked about it last time, but Pluto has been doing its thing recently. Like, we're shifting collectively. We're gonna shift into Aquarius for good in November. Right now it's retrograded. Actually, no, right now it should be 0 degrees Aquarius. It keeps changing back and forth. It's been changing back and forth for like 2 years. 0 degrees Aquarius, 29 degrees Capricorn. No, it's in Aquarius right now, 0 degrees, but it does go back and then it will go back again. But yeah, that energy, we will collectively feel a huge shift of shifting from caring so much about our status, our career, and focusing more on collective. What's good for the collective? What's good for me is good for the collective ultimately. Okay, last card is Amethyst. We have very on brand, annihilation of the unnecessary, purging. The Panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc, with the ultimate intention of bringing us towards more fulfilling lives. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the Panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the Panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. So when in balance, brave and productive. When out of balance, self-destructive. And to bring into balance, get rid of the unnecessary. Dun, dun, dun. These were very appropriate. Like if I were to pick 3 cards that I wanted to represent today, I don't think I could have picked them better.
I just have more questions now.
Yeah? Did they resonate with you? Do you have any questions you want to share? Or is it more like internal, like I have questions within myself?
Within myself and what's unnecessary and finding that. But when you said when you're feeling cloudy or unsure, sit in stillness.
Exactly, and we sit in stillness. Like, see, we have to trust that the universe hears our requests. We don't have to keep nagging it for it. But we get this feeling, we feel, maybe we've been taught this from a parent, that if I nag and I nag and I nag, I'll get it, right? And like, we also have this feeling like if I hate my job and I just find a way to like it, wouldn't the universe just think I'm okay with it and not give me a better opportunity? But that's not true, right? That's not how it works. It's like when you are finding more peace and more flow, the answer will come. But it's not, it's a paradox. It's like you ask the universe, I would love some clarity, but when you go into meditation, you're not forcing it, right? You can set the intention beforehand, I'd like to get more clarity whenever I'm ready to receive it, right? Be open, be an open vessel for the divine to speak through you. Allow yourself to be more in that receptive energy to hear those messages, right? But as soon as we start forcing it, that backfires. We have to learn how to start to ask and release. And meditating is going to become something so normalized, I believe, that we are stepping into this collectively, that it will become like, people will be like, you didn't brush your teeth today? It'll be like, you didn't meditate today? Like, it'll just be collectively agreed on, like, well, duh, like, you just got to do that. Like, of course you're foggy today and, you know, dropping things or whatever. Did you still your mind? You know what I mean? So it's like, it will become that way. So once we make these practices, whatever it is, and meditating, you know, sometimes people are like, I don't really like meditating. You can find something that works for you. You know, guided meditations are great. If you need a little bit more guidance through the process, sometimes like movement meditations, like find a way to make it work for you. But, you know, the idea is that when you're getting into that meditative state, that's not the time for us to really be asking. Meditation is a time for listening, to be receptive. And you trust. Once you develop this relationship with the universe, you have this trust in you that you will get the answer when you're ready to get the answer. And if you didn't get it today, then you weren't ready to get it today, right? But you'll get something, and you'll get that little breadcrumb to follow, you know? But it's about not having that expectation. It's about having that unconditional relationship with it, you know, rather than need to be like, I'm all okay, I'll meditate as long as you give me what I want, you know, because that's like a little, you know, that's not really coming from that place of like, no, this is just what I want to lean into. So, but it's a practice. We can't beat up on ourselves. We're never perfect. I say all this stuff, I'm not perfect with it. I have my days, my moments, you know, and it's about, but I've learned, wow, it's so different when I let myself have those moments versus when I would fight them. I remember things that were, you know, would happen and I could ruin a day for it, a week. And now when I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to let it be. I'm not going to force anything. Typically, I'm not even expecting it for it to be done in an hour. I'm just letting it take its place, however long it needs. But inevitably, it just ends up, it's like, oh, okay, I'm done with that now. I processed it, you know, like it moved through me. But it's that resistance. It's that resistance that we're fighting, really. It's not the feeling that we think we're fighting the resistance. So lean more into that uncomfortable feeling, but we've been so used to numbing. Oh, you're uncomfortable, let's block those receptors. But the thing about blocking receptors is you don't block the consequence. If you don't feel pain in your hand, you can still get a 3rd-degree burn just because you don't have nerve endings, right? So we need to stop getting so used to that numbing of the receptors and thinking that's healing. Because ultimately, it's not. We got to feel the uncomfortable things sometimes. This is a human experience. It's not, you know, our goal is joy, our goal is happiness, and you will live in more of those states, inevitably, the more we allow ourselves to feel those uncomfortable things when they need to wash through us, when they need to teach us something. You learn to say, thank you so much, anger, thank you so much, sadness, because I know you're here to show me something. I'm open to learning what you're here to show me. And this is such a powerful time. I've been finding myself on such a roller coaster, and in the darker moments, when I lean into it, wow, the downloads that come, the clarity, the realizations. And it's like instantly, it's this relief, right? It's this instant relief. You're like, oh my God, this had to happen. It had to happen because I had to feel this right now so that I can know, like, just to know. Whatever it is you needed to know. And you'll know, because it will fill you with a feeling that is so undeniable. But it's really a truly beautiful experience. It's addicting. You'll start to realize and trust the process so much that it will be inevitable, you know? Like, why do people drink alcohol and stuff? It's because, like, they drunk it enough times and they're like, oh, this makes me feel loose and I can be myself, right? And it's like they trust that it's going to do that for them, and then so they do it again. But we don't have that trust with the most powerful thing that we could ever do, that is beyond any substance we could take here, which is our true, like, alignment, our true state of flow, right? But we don't have that relationship with it yet because we haven't tested it out enough consciously. I mean, you have, inevitably, throughout your life. It's just, you maybe didn't know what it was, right? It wasn't as conscious. But once you know consciously, oh, this is This is how I did it. I've been cultivating these practices. I've been giving myself space. I've been giving myself love. I haven't been shaming myself. I've been letting myself feel the uncomfortable feelings. And wow, my life isn't just magically better. I'm making it better. I did that. I'm creating that, right? The joy that I'm feeling extra every day, I did that. I attracted that into my life. You'll know, you'll consciously know, and you'll be even more empowered. And every little thing will just give you more empowerment. And what you'll find is when you do find a challenge in your life, you will approach it with such certainty that you got this. Yes, something can still be difficult to deal with, but you will know so deeply that you have everything you need. You don't have to know how, when, where, that's the mind's language, but you know that there's a language higher than that. And that's what you've been obeying, the higher self, not the mind. Mind is here. We're tapping into up here, right? So we play that game. It's a little dance, right? It's a little dance with the universe. So let me make sure that the AC is turned down. I don't want anybody to be too chilly. How do I turn off the AC? Is it back in the... Okay, I'm gonna turn it. Okay. It's still in cold air, but I turned it up. I hope nobody gets too hot, but the door? Oh, yes, yes. Ah, that should be better. No more breeze. Yeah, we don't want the breeze right now. Okay, and I'm so sorry to walk back over here. Don't want to disrupt the flow. I just want to, the studio phone. Thank you, Brinley. Really appreciate you. Okay. Just gonna lower the lights a bit and we're gonna get into our very light flow. So this is not intense at all, guys. And I'm sorry I didn't say this in the beginning of class, but just as a reminder, everything I say is a suggestion. You are here on your own journey. Lean into that. If your body wants to do something, do what your body wants to do. This is just a suggestion. It's nice to get some stretching, some movement in before laying down on our backs for a meditation. That's a whole purpose of yoga at the end of the day. People forget it's not just about the pretty shapes, right? It's really about getting more into that stillness, cultivating that relationship with self, so that you can reach those deeper meditation states and be able to receive the insights that you need. I'm just gonna move these things because I know I will be spilling everything otherwise. Okay. All right, so we are gonna begin just sitting down however feels comfortable to us. You could sit Japanese style, you could sit, cross-legged. I'm gonna sit cross-legged on a little pillow here just to keep my hips elevated. And see if you can just align your spine. However you're sitting, just see if you can align your spine, have proud, open chest, and maybe take a moment to either close your eyes or gently have a soft gaze to the floor in front of you. And we're gonna begin by taking a few rounds of breath. And in the first couple rounds, I'd like for you to raise your hands up. Picture yourself harnessing the energy of the moon, of the universe, and flowing that energy down your chakra points all the way to the base of your spine. See if you can sync this movement with your breath. Let's do that one more time, all the way up. Bring it all the way back down. And now one more time, let's bring our hands above our heads in prayer position and create a straight line down the front of your body, in front of your heart center. And take a moment here to inwardly set your intention for your practice today. This could be a single word, a phrase, whatever it might be. See if you can inwardly state this 3 times. And when you are done, you can slowly release your hands, palm facing up, maybe on both of your knees, if that's comfortable for you. And we're gonna just take 3 collective breaths together, truly filling our bellies with air, feeling our lungs and our chest and our belly expand on the inhale through the nose, and we're gonna exhale through the mouth. So let's go ahead together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time, breathing in deeply through the nose, feeling your chest and your belly expand, holding briefly at the top, and then sigh it out. Feel all the tension release. Feel yourself getting anchored into the floor beneath you, deeper and deeper. Very good. Now at your own pace, we're going to go into child's pose just for a moment. So whatever feels comfortable to you, if you want to have your knees close together, or if you want to have your knees wide apart with your toes touching, and then slowly walking your hands out in front of you, maybe gently resting your forehead on the ground beneath you or on a pillow, whatever feels comfortable for you. The point of this practice is really to come into more stillness. We're not here to build more muscles right now. It's not about pushing ourselves to the limit. Stay connected to your breath. Feeling the expansion on the inhale. Sinking deeper into your pose on the exhale. Feeling into your hips. Maybe getting curious about any sensations in your body rather than judging them. How can you be curious about all the sensations while breathing through anything that comes up? Not attaching to our thoughts, just allowing them to drift by, refocusing our energy back to our center, our breath. On your next inhale, go ahead and push yourself back up and come down all the way on your bellies, placing your hands on the ground beneath you, underneath your shoulder blades. And we're going to go into Sphinx pose. Now, you can keep your hands and your forearms planted on the ground beneath you. See if you can keep that 90-degree angle with your arm, and if you can keep your fingers closer together. Allow your feet, your legs, your thighs, and your butt to be completely relaxed. Feeling that stretch in your back and that expansion in your spine, in your neck. Allowing there to be room between the top of your shoulders and your ears. Remembering to breathe. If you can send that breath to your mid and lower back. Leo rules our spine and our heart. This allows us to work both areas. Aquarius rules our shoulders, and we will be getting into that with some shoulder stretches later on in the practice. So we're really tapping into the energy right now. And on your next inhale, go ahead and come back on your bellies, maybe creating a little pillow with your hands, gently resting your forehead on top. Maybe massaging your third eye by shifting your head left and right gently over your hands. Taking this time to feel grounded, secure. Only going to be here for a few breaths. With your next breath, go ahead and push yourself up into a tabletop position. Your knees hip distance apart. Your hands directly under your shoulders. And we're just going to do a few rounds, really waking up that spine. This is also the best thing to do anytime you want to cultivate more energy throughout your day. It's better than caffeine. You get into a tabletop position and you sync your breath with cat and cow. Inhaling, looking up to the sky, exhaling, curving your spine and looking at your navel. Inhale, look up, exhale, inhale, exhale. Do a few more rounds at your own pace, really asking yourself, what does your body want from you right now at this moment? Does it want more slow movements? Or do you want to feel more energized and go faster through the inhales and the exhales? Very good. Now, after you're done with a few rounds, go ahead and go into some free movement, some hip rotations, however you want. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but see if you can just move your body the way it wants to move. Not questioning it, maybe going side to side. Switching rotations if that feels right. So often we don't allow ourselves to just move the way our body wants to move. But our body can teach us so much about what we're holding on to, where we can allow more love and space into our life, where we hold tension. We're developing this relationship. Very good. whenever you're ready, you can come back into a tabletop position, and we're going to be going into a melting heart pose. So we're keeping our hips elevated at a 45-degree angle, but we're moving our hands, walking our hands out in front of us, and sinking our chest towards the mat beneath us. Now go as deep as feels comfortable for you. We're not sinking our hips down like in child's pose. We're keeping our hips elevated and just walking our hands out. You should feel a tremendous stretch in your upper back, in your chest. Feel your heart space open up. And I know this one can be a bit intense, so see if you can breathe through any discomfort, and also make sure you're assessing with yourself, is this a therapeutic stretch, or am I feeling pain and tugging sensations? Because if you're feeling any pain or any nerve pain, then back off of the pose and please go less deep. Or do another movement. You can even go into child's pose if you'd like. We're just going to be here a couple breaths. We're not holding the poses as long as a normal yin class in this class, since we have a couple other things scheduled, but you should still feel that therapeutic stretch through your body. On your next inhale, we're gonna rise our right hand up into the sky, and we're gonna thread it under our left. So we're still staying in this like melting heart position, but we're just threading the right hand under the left, and we're gently resting our right temple on the ground. Really feeling that shoulder stretch, that stretch in the back. Remembering to breathe. Sometimes when we feel discomfort, we hold our breath. So let's see if we can teach ourselves to breathe through any discomfort we're feeling. Just a few more deep breaths here. Let's take 2 rounds of deep breaths together. Breathing in through the nose and release. Let's do one more together. Breathing in and release. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift that right arm back up to the sky. We're gonna bring her down, lifting up our left arm, and now threading our left under the right. Same thing on the other side. Now resting our left temple on the ground beneath us. Let's take 2 deep breaths together. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Very good. Now let's go ahead and remove our left arm, stretch it back up into the sky, and then we can come back onto our sit bones. And we're just gonna go into a counter pose. We just did a lot of back bends, so let's extend our feet in front of us, our legs in front of us. You can have your legs close together or wider apart, whatever feels comfortable to you. And we're going to hinge from the hips. So see if you can just hinge forward, taking a deep breath, and on the exhale, walking your hands forward. And once you find your edge, see if you can just let your head hang heavy if that feels comfortable to you. Trusting that your breath will take you deeper into the posture, not forcing it, not engaging your muscles, breathing deeply. Feeling that release in your back. Very good. Now on your next inhale, go ahead and walk your hands back up and let us come all the way down on our backs. Just lie down flat on your back. We're almost to Savasana, I promise. Just a couple more stretches. Once you're on your back, we're going to start with our right leg. Go ahead and interlock your fingers, webbing to webbing grip. Grab a hold right under your right knee and pull your knee towards your right armpit, avoiding your rib cage and keeping your elbows as close to your body as possible, really pulling here. I know we didn't do a lot of pulling. This whole exercise is the only time. Just see if you can pull that knee closer to your elbow. Our hip joints are extremely resilient and much stronger than your forearms. Good. And now when you're done, go ahead and take your left hand over your right knee, and we're going to go into a supine twist. So we're gonna pull our right knee, over our left side body, and we're gonna extend our right hand to the right, maybe with a soft gaze over our right shoulder, trying to keep our shoulder blades grounded on the ground beneath us. It's okay, your knee does not have to reach the floor to your left. Just keep it, holding it with your left hand. while maintaining that gaze over your right shoulder, feeling that stretch in your side body. Breathing in through your rib cage, feeling that expansion with every inhale and exhale, deepening into the posture. Really trusting our body here, trusting that our body knows what it wants to feel, what it wants to do. Just a couple more breaths here before switching to the other leg. Let's take 2 breaths together, breathing in deeply and exhale. One more time, breathing in deeply into your rib cage, into your belly, and release. Very good. Now go ahead and gently extend your right leg. We're going to do the same thing to our left. So let us interlock our fingers, webbing to webbing, about an inch below our left kneecap. And let's pull our left kneecap into our left armpit, trying to keep our elbows close to the body. Feeling that stretch in our left hip bone. Breathing deeply and releasing. Deep breath in and release. And on your next inhale, we're gonna take our right hand on our left knee, pulling that knee towards our right, extending our left hand to the left, soft gaze over our left shoulder. If you feel your left shoulder blade lifting, see if you can lessen that twist a bit. Try to keep your shoulder blades firmly on the ground beneath you. Feel the expansion in your rib cage on the other side now. See if we can challenge ourselves to take deep breaths even when we're in a position like this, where we might be inclined to take shallower breaths. But see if you can still fill your belly with air, feeling it expand before releasing. And you'll find yourself maybe sinking deeper into the posture. Though that is never the goal, the ego wants to be able to do all these shapes and all these positions. But just because we can do a lot of shapes with our body doesn't mean we're actually being present and allowing the breath to work. So you don't get more benefits going deeper into the posture. You get more benefits being present wherever you are in the posture. Cultivating that love for yourself wherever you are today. Where you are today might not be where you were yesterday, and that is okay. Having a physical practice, whatever it is, teaches us to have that compassion for ourselves, to know that growth isn't linear. And the things our ego thinks matter don't matter so much. Just going to be here for a couple more breaths. Let's take 2 deep breaths together before we go into Savasana. Deep breath in, filling your belly, and let's hold at the top briefly and then release. One more time, deep breath in. Hold briefly and release. Very good. Now go ahead and release your leg. Actually, just one more thing. Go ahead and give yourself a nice big hug. Bring those knees closer into your chest. Maybe rocking a little bit side to side. Whatever feels good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and extend your legs going into Savasana. So if you want to take a moment here, if anybody needs to use the restroom, if anyone needs to put pillows under their head, under their knees, get your blankets ready, whatever it may be. Perfect. Oh, yes, please. Absolutely. That's waiting for you. No problem. Take your time. Just going to wait for everybody to do what they need to do. So take this extra time for yourself, really checking in. Noticing how you feel now versus the beginning of class. Play some singing bowls for whoever is already in Savasana. Here it says. No, I'm not using it. Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. No problem. So our meditation tonight is going to be about sovereignty and authenticity, really reclaiming that personal power, rewriting our story. So take this time to settle in. Find a comfortable position, allowing your body to fully settle into the earth beneath you. Feel the support of the ground, knowing it is holding you completely. And if you haven't done so already, and if it feels right to you, gently close your eyes and start to tune into your breath. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and then slowly exhale through the mouth, releasing any tension, any worries. Good. Now, as you continue to breathe deeply, imagine roots growing from the base of your spine and the soles of your feet, reaching deep into the earth, anchoring you, grounding you, connecting you to her energy. With each breath, you feel yourself becoming more centered, more present in this very moment. Now bring your attention to the outline of your body. Imagine a soft, glowing light tracing the edges of your body. From the top of your head, down your neck, shoulders, arms, and fingers. This light continues down your torso, hips, legs, and all the way to the tips of your toes. This light represents your essence, your sovereign energy. With every breath, you see the light becoming brighter, more defined, as you become fully aware of the space you occupy. This is your sacred space, your sanctuary. Let this light remind you that you are whole, that you are powerful. And a gentle reminder that during our meditation practices, we're not looking to stop our thoughts. Trying to stop our thoughts only ensures that they will come in stronger force. What we are practicing is reshifting our focus, our attention. So when we notice any thoughts come up, observe them like clouds drifting by, and see if you can gently redirect your energy back to your breath, back to the basics. As you stand in the light of your being, imagine that you are in a grand hall, a place that feels sacred and ancient, yet deeply personal. The floor beneath you is smooth, cool, and solid, representing the foundation of who you are. The hall is empty, but as you take a deep breath in, you notice a pedestal in the center, illuminated by a single light above. On this pedestal, you see a scroll rolled up and tied with a simple ribbon. The scroll holds a story of who you have been, your past, your beliefs, the roles you've played. With a deep breath, you walk towards the pedestal, feeling the weight of your steps, each one bringing you closer to the truth of who you are. When you reach the pedestal, place your hands on the scroll. Feel its texture, its weight. Take a moment to acknowledge everything that has brought you to this point. Now gently untie the ribbon and let the scroll unfold. Watch as the words, the stories begin to dissolve right before your eyes, turning into a soft golden dust that rises and dissipates into the air. As the scroll becomes blank, you feel a deep release, a lightness in your heart. You are free to write your own story now, from a place of authenticity and power. With each breath, you feel more connected to your true self, your sovereign being. You are no longer defined by what was written before. You are now the conscious author of your life. Now visualize taking up a pen. This pen is crafted from your inner light, your essence. Bring the pen to the blank scroll, and with each breath, begin to write your truth. You don't need to see the words on the page. Simply feel the energy of your true self flowing through you onto the scroll. Feel the liberation in every stroke, the power of your every word. This is your declaration of sovereignty, a commitment to live as your most authentic self, guided by the divine, unafraid of the unknown. With each word, feel your soul's purpose becoming clearer, stronger, more aligned with the truth of who you are. Not on the many do's or don'ts and the rules we've imposed on ourselves. Freeing ourselves from all past attachments, all limiting concepts, releasing all stories that keep us small. Seeing the purpose of everything we've experienced as it was all necessary. It was all necessary to get to this point right now. Now, when you are ready, gently roll up the scroll, knowing that this is just the beginning. Place it back over the pedestal, feeling the deep sense of peace and empowerment reside within you. Beginning to take deep breaths again, and as you exhale, bringing your awareness back to the outline of your body, now glowing brighter than it did before. This light is a reflection of your truth, the power you've reclaimed. It is always within you. Begin to bring your awareness back to the present moment, gently wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe rolling your shoulders. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes, carrying this renewed sense of self and purpose with you into this day. please take your time getting back up. Give yourself that grace. Welcome back, everyone. I'll give you guys just a second to come back before I turn the lights up and switch to a different soundtrack. Because if leaving like at this state sometimes can be a little disorienting. And I know this class runs a little bit later, so I do apologize. I always try to consolidate as much as possible. But we like to end with an activity, but of course this is your time. I'm gonna lay out all of the activity supplies. It's like a little arts and crafts session. We're gonna be making little fridge magnets, so. So there are these little tiles that have a magnet on the back. And I really want you guys to decorate it however represents you right now. Try to be as creative, as whimsical as you'd like to be. I chose like a little hawk. You can't really tell, but I thought that was funny because we pulled hawk today. And it says fly free, and I put little wings. I will say I put these guys on, I put glitter, but now I don't think it sticks very well as a magnet. So I wanted to let you guys know that in case you decide to do something along those lines. So give you guys a second. I'm gonna turn the lights up and I will lay out all of the arts and crafts supplies. You got it, Brindley, thank you. Okay, awesome. And sorry again, this wasn't laid out in advance, but I'm gonna put them here in the center. We've got glitter. There's a bunch of stickers. I actually did use stickers on here and was successful at it. They're kind of organized by category. These are stencils, so please feel free. You can, make a mess with them. Don't worry about keeping them all organized. The tiles are right here. There's these little magnets, so you just want to take one magnet off. It has a little sticker on the back, and they're little guys. Sorry that they're small, but they're just these little tiles, and then you stick a little magnet on the back, and we're gonna draw on them. So please, if everybody wants to, I'm just gonna leave some of them out like that. We have lots of paints, scissors, even little gems. I actually glued amethyst crystal on mine. I'm gonna leave mine here too in case you guys wanna peek at it. But there's like a little amethyst jewel here. The glue that we have does work. There's like a super glue type of material, and then there's this tacky glue. And that will work for anything that you're using, whether you want to glue like a gem. So these are all of the crystals. So, and then there's more crystals in here that are organized by type. There are scissors. There is these little sparkle bedazzly guys. Glitter glue, which I did use as well. I used regular glitter, but it actually worked out well because I was like trying to make sure everything would, work out. There's a bunch of glue in here. There's even these transfer papers, which are pretty cool. The little heart on mine is a transfer paper. So you apply the guys in here like you do a little tattoo. Yeah, so you just put it over it and you put some water on the top after you've painted, and you can use these, and there's like little sponges in here. I'm gonna leave some cups out as well in case you guys wanna put little cups of water for the paint. I'm gonna leave brushes and all the paints out. There's also acrylic markers. I ended up using these acrylic markers as like the base. They do kind of have a fat tip, so I don't know if it's the best for like details, but it still works. It works enough. Yes, I did burn some during the meditation. Yeah. You got pinged with it. Ooh, sorry guys. I'm just gonna lay everything out. It's gonna be like, you know, just grab whatever you want. Don't worry about it. I'll get everything together later. So please just like grab, like have fun, right? Most of us, like most of the creative projects we do are like so structured, you know? So this is like to be as unstructured as possible. Some of them are stickers and some are actually like papers that you would use for like a scrapbooking or something. So you can use glue. I didn't try doing that, but you definitely can. I'm gonna move these guys too so that you have more room. Oh, and oh, do you want to take one home like with you?
I have a tile.
Oh, you did? Okay, and you got a
a magnet.
perfect, awesome. Okay, I know this class runs really late. I know. I always feel so bad. It's just like to get everything in. I mean, that's why we don't really even hold the poses for that long.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you. This one is.
That one is?
Yeah.
Oh.
This one is a sticker because I'm pretty sure I've used these. Try to like fold it and I would just, like what I did is I cut it and used it, yeah. Like I have a little flower on mine. You can't really see it, but it was one of those stickers. Yeah. Here's some washi tape as well in case anybody wanted to put little accents around. And these are little cups if you want to put water in them, and I'll give you guys some big cups. It was so good to see you. Do you want to take a tile home with you to like decorate later? Okay. Here you go. That way you can make a little fridge magnet, but you just stick it. Oh, perfect. I'm sorry. I know it runs late and it's a Monday, but thank you so much for coming. Can I give you a hug? Oh, it's so good to see you again.
Yes, likewise.
Yeah, well, I hope you drive safe and.
Enjoy the rest of this month.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh.
I'll see you hopefully next full moon.
Yeah, we do have a sound healing this coming Sunday. In case you're interested, it's at 3:30 p.m., so it doesn't run as crazy late. But it's just like the sound healing meditation portion. It's not like as much of like the chatting in the beginning or the card pulling or the yoga or anything like that. So in case you're interested in that sort of thing. But otherwise, next moon mystics next month. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, there's a sound healing on Sunday, the 25th at 3:30 p.m. So we're starting to do those more. It's like the last Sunday of every month. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, thank you so much.
That every time I leave, I feel like a brand new person.
Oh, thank you, thank you. It's really, guys, like your energy, like shared. I feel like it was such a powerful group. No. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, let me grab those for you. Thank you so much. Did you take a tile home with you? Oh, perfect, perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. It's always good to see you.
You said you're gonna start doing sound healing on.
It's like the last Sunday of every month, potentially more often, but that's like what's scheduled right now. So it's going to be on the 25th, so next Sunday, this coming Sunday, yeah, at 3:30, and that's an hour and a half. So it doesn't tend to, you know, drag on into the wee hours of the night like Moon Mystic says.
I love it, and I love hearing you talk. I can tell like you're channeling or you're like flowing.
Aw,
So beautiful.
thank you. Oh, thank you so much. It's, you know, I feel like what resonates is like this deep soul truth that we all share, and we're all here just reflecting certain aspects back to each other, and it's a beautiful journey. Thank you so much. You as well. Take care. Napkins. So sorry, I was late on the request. Ooh. Don't mean to step on y'all's mats here. There you go. Tea, you want some? Please help y'all self out to some tea. I'd love it if there is no more tea left for me to have to lug back. So drink as much as you'd like. There's definitely a few cups left. Yeah. Maybe because the music is, it would be good to maybe cut it. Thank you for joining our Moon Mystics. Join us again for next month's full Moon Mystics. If you want to see it streamed live, you can join along. So, bye.